All right, so let's look at what we have here. So these are the key behavioral risk factors, okay, from this diagram that we did earlier, as you can all see. From this diagram, these are the key factors. So we say that we have these key behavioral risk factors, which are smoking, alcohol, diet, and physical activity. Now, the four major NCDs share a small number of common behavioral risk factors. Okay, four are particularly important, which are tobacco use, physical inactivity, unhealthy diet, and the harmful use of alcohol. And these behaviors lead in turn to four metabolic or physiological changes or intermediate risk factors, which are raised blood pressure, overweight or obesity, hyperglycemia, and then hyperlipidemia. Okay. Now let's look at another causal web for cancer and cardiovascular disease. Now, when you look at this causal web, what happens is that there are distal socioeconomic causes, which include physical environment, cultural environment, and then personal factors. Now, the physical environment affects our diet and our physical activity. Okay. Again, our cultural environment also affects some of these proximal causes like smoking, diet, and then physical activity. Then the personal factors also affect our smoking, diet, and physical activity. Now, smoking affects blood pressure and BMI. Diet affects blood cholesterol level, blood pressure, and BMI. And physical activity affects blood cholesterol level, blood pressure, and BMI. Now, these physiological and pathophysiological causes, okay, leads to these outcomes of cardiovascular disease. Okay, so blood cholesterol will lead to CVD, blood pressure will lead to CVD, and then BMI will lead to CVD and cancer. Okay, so that is another beautiful causal web. When you look at this, it's a lung function and respiratory disease, biological and psychosocial exposure. So what it simply means is that somebody is having a genetic predisposition to asthma, okay? And then when that person is even in the womb, there's a poor growth in the uterus because the child is not able to develop well because of this genetic predisposition. Now, that means that there will be a poor lung development. So during the development of that child, the lungs will not develop well. That will lead to infant respiratory infections when it's born. Now, these childhood health illnesses, okay, will now cause poor educational attainment, will also cause poor childhood socioeconomic status. And that will lead back to the infant respiratory infection. Again, these childhood illnesses will also lead to rapid decline in lung functioning when they are even grown as an adult. Okay? If they end up with poor educational attainment, that will lead to poor adult socioeconomic status. So the adult will now not find a good work, so there will be occupational hazards in his work. That will lead to rapid decline in lung function, even during adult and have lung disease. Again, when the person is having poor childhood socioeconomic, it leads to air pollution, passive smoking, and poor nutrition because the person is having poor adult socioeconomic status. So they will end up turning up to be smokers and living in poor environment. So that will reinforce these childhood chest illnesses and eventually still contribute to this lung disease. So you see that this is a very intertwined web, but they all work together from that perspective. So that's the explanation that we have in here. Then, when you look at the global burden of disease study, it ranks 79 risk factors or clusters of risk according to their contribution to disability, adjusted life years, or worldwide. So you realize that the vast majority of the top risk factors are linked to the NCDs. And some links, such as the link between childhood underweight and NCD, may be less obvious, but there is evidence of a link between malnutrition and development of NCDs later in life or in future generations. The leading risk factors have changed substantially between 2000 and 2013. The leading cause of attributable disability adjusted life years in 2000 was child and maternal malnutrition, but this dropped to fourth. Several risks related to NCDs become more prominent, with the top three leading risks being high blood pressure, smoking, and high body mass index. All right, so more than half of the top 25 risks are clearly associated with the four major NCDs. And this is the picture that we are talking about. Where is that picture? So you realize that these are dietary risk factors. Okay? Okay. So the authors of another major study, the Interheart study, estimated that about 90% of coronary heart disease risk can be explained by 9 risk factors: smoking, diabetes, hypertension, abdominal obesity, psychosocial factors, fruit and vegetables, exercise, alcohol, and the ratio of ApoB to ApoA1, that's fat transporting proteins in the blood. Okay.